Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Simsport Racing International TCR Cup, round number 5, the penultimate round here at the wonderful Kent's Best Brands Hatch. My name's Chris Buxton, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's festivities. Joining me in the commentary box, I'm very glad to say, he hasn't been scared away just yet. It's Adam Bent.
Evening, Chris. How are you, bud?
I'm very well, very much looking forward to this. You might have guessed by the tone of my voice. How are you, good sir?
I'm absolutely great, yeah. Had a good week and looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this since the last round at Silverstone, where I was you kindly enough to invite me in. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Silverstone was chaotic, I think it's fair to say, with
absolutely
quite a lot of thrills and spills going on there. Stephen Haley did not have a good night at that particular venue. So how did that affect the championship standings? Let's have a look, shall we? As we switch over to see who is standing where. So Stephen Haley still at the top of the board, but not by much, as Simon Wilkes is right behind him now, just 11 points right behind him. Then Martin Bridson, top of the tree in the broccoli bunch. He's right there. Tim Fulbrook taking a win last time out. He's taken 2 over the season, but hasn't had the consistency to keep backing that one up. Is right there in the mixture as well. Right, what can we expect from Brands Hatch then, good sir?
Well, great racing. Obviously, one of my personal favourite circuits. Was lucky enough to visit last year. Sleep on a garage floor, funnily enough. It was an incredible track. I remember walking it at 2 a.m. And one thing that I don't think cameras quite pick up is just how steep some of the hills are here. Especially up towards Paddock. Going down Paddock Hill is very steep. But actually going up to Druids is actually quite a bit more of a hill than people expect.
Yeah, there's a lot of undulation changes. We are looking at Mattis Nigas, so currently second in the practice times. The practice session doesn't have a great deal left of it. We will, of course, get the race underway. I think they were slightly late getting the practice session underway, so they will cut that off if they need to. Just 200ths of a second behind Tim Fulbrook, who won the second race last time out at Silverstone. And there is the Tim emblazoned Audi. And good to see he is back with us. Simon Wilkes, who won the first race last time out, is in the pit lane. So he's just a couple of tenths off the top spot. There is Stephen Haley in 4th. He's wandered off track, apparently. Yeah, he has.
He's in a big way there, somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's
Dingledale.
Towards Dingledale, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, interesting circuit, isn't it? Some of the corner names as well, obviously, as we were looking at the track map earlier. Definitely some interesting corner names.
Absolutely. Oh, and there's Martin Bridson, just jumped up into 4th. So this isn't the qualifying session. There is the lead of the broccoli bunch. Literally, just as I say that, Mr. Fantastic says, let's go broccoli boys in chat. Welcome to you, and welcome to those joining us in chat. You're always welcome to come along for the ride. Whether you're watching live or post-event, we welcome any and all here at Simsport Racing International. 13 cars, again, join us, which is always good to see. Looks like it's the Audis that are, I'd say ruling the roost is probably a little bit strong, but currently have the top of the tree. We'll see how that continues to fare. Where is the fellow broccoli man? It's Dan Williams. He's in 7th. We've got David Jr. He's back with us in 6th position, just coming out of the pits, along with Smash It Proudly in 8th place. There's Dan Williams. There is the no longer sole Honda, or not sole in this race, as he's been joined by returning Stephen Allen, currently in 12th. There is the second Honda. Pretty sure he wasn't in a Honda last time, or if he was, I can't recall.
No. No, I think I'd have remembered a Team Dynamics looking Honda. Obviously, myself a big fan of the touring cars. So, no, the Team Dynamics colours definitely stand out. One of the most successful teams in British touring cars, and it's nice to see their sort of livery on the grid represented. But obviously, Steve's livery just as beautiful.
That is true, just like the driver. I like the Type R emblazoned along the top of the window. I thoroughly approve of that. Michael Haffenden is a bit of a late joiner to the session. He hasn't got a time on the board. There is Mr. Haffenden. That's the same livery as Mr. Fulbrook. I just realised. I'm not. Does he have?
Does it say Tim or does it say Mike?
I was just wondering that. He doesn't have the great big
No,
Tim.
I think it's the other way around. I think he's got a bit more blue on his, but he seems to have a bit of netcode issue there.
He does a little bit. He's actually been chased home by the similarly emblazoned Audi. I'll get the right words out in the right order in a minute. Yeah, Michael Haffenden, he's lagging all over the place, unfortunately. Hopefully he's able to sort that out. Tim Fulbrook still at the top of the tree with 133.159. See on the tower on the left-hand side, Mattis Niger. It's good to see him back. He has these kind of moments of, showing really, really strong pace. Just sadly hasn't quite gone his way. There he is in the.
That's up in a big way.
That's over at Sheen's where that's gone horribly wrong.
That was a bit wide there. I think he was even planning to go through Dingledale there, but you can see that he's gathered it pretty well there. These touring cars, front-wheel drive cars, so trying to catch them isn't as difficult as trying to catch a rear-wheel drive car.
No, indeed. It's point the nose in the right direction and kick it is essentially how you drive the front-wheel drive cars.
Absolutely. Well, again, sorry. You go first. I was going to bring up a very interesting question of when will we actually see a rear-wheel drive touring car in this game? Because obviously we've had a new update coming up soon, and there's another Hyundai. It's just a bit odd to see another Hyundai before another car. But these front-wheel drive cars are great to drive, but I'm sure there's some people out there begging for a rear-wheel drive touring car like the BMW.
I'm sure indeed. As Stephen Haley has jumped into third in the times, Tim Fulbrook is gotten a very heavy right foot and has just improved on his top time with the 1:33.058 in the Tim emblazoned Audi. There you go. You can see the liveries back to back. They're not exactly the same, but they are quite similar. Like you see, well spotted there, Adam. Is Michael Haffenden now up to 11th with a 1:34.6. It's got a bit more blue in his, whereas Tim's is a little bit more white, and he's got his name on it. So a bit obvious to see which one is which, unless you're staring at them dead on like that. We'll follow them through the rest of the lap, see how they're going to get on. So we're now going through Pilgrim's Drop. It's pretty steep down there. It's not as bad as when you drop off of Paddock Hill Bend. That's enough to leave your lunch behind. As we now come through Hawthorne Bend, down Derek Minter straight into Westfield. Really easy to wander too wide there. You do flirt with the AstroTurf on the exit of that corner. Dingledale and now Sheen's, which is where we've seen a few grass cutting already going on. Now down to, this is my favourite part of the circuit, Stirling's, down clearways through to Clark. I love this section of Brands. Brands is such a great track, but Paddock Hill Bend is my arch nemesis. I struggle with Paddock Hill Bend.
In terms of corners, it's going to be one of the best racing corners on in any track. The way you have to sort of set yourself up for a drop as well as keep it fairly pinned. I think the most recent car I've raced around this track would be a Ginetta on ACC, and you sort of have to keep it pinned for as much as possible because it actually understeers more if you try and lift off through Paddock Hill. You sort of got to keep it pinned because if you don't, it just tends to wander off into the gravel onto the outside.
So now Tim has got his fellow similarly emblazoned Audi right in his face. And there we go. Haffenden has actually got out of the way. Haffenden now up to 10th place with the 33.8 that he just set. So Tim should now be able to continue on his merry way if he's going to continue to push on this lap. It's about half the field are out there. Are they going to let this practice session run? So I think we should be heading over to the race fairly shortly.
With about 4 minutes left, I think they'll run it through. But it's great to note that the top 10 are within a second of each other now. I can see Cameron Fyfe and Eurosic definitely getting within that. Stephen Allen currently in the pit lane, so I'm sure qualifying, I can see the lap times being quite close. It's a track that a lot of people have driven. These cars are really well suited to the style of track, and it'll be great racing, I can guarantee you, from turn 1 all the way to the end.
And there is Cameron Fyfe. He got a little bit speared, I think it's fair to say, by Stephen Haley on one of his excursions off at Maggots. Sadly, it was Cameron Fyfe he picked up on one occasion. Can't remember who the other one was that he collected. But yeah, I think it was definitely one to forget for Stephen Haley, but he's doing a good job in forgetting it by being third on the practice board at the moment.
Absolutely. Again, obviously, everybody has bad rounds. Everybody has good rounds. I think, Stephen Haley will want to forget Silverstone. Not in a hurry as such, but, he'll want to forget the results. He'll want to move on, learn from his mistakes, and, definitely improve going forward. And obviously, sitting third at the moment, Tim Philbrook and Matthias Neuger, just in front of him, not far in front of him, is definitely a confidence booster going into this round.
Jakub Jurasik in the lovely DHL flavoured Audi. I love the look of this car.
Absolutely.
It's a good-looking beast. And I've completely forgotten who it was that had the Jason Plato a la Menude flavoured Renault back at... it wasn't a Renault, it was a Hyundai, but it was so coloured a couple of rounds ago. I've forgotten who it was. No, damn it.
I wouldn't remember. You
weren't with us. Yeah, you weren't with us.
Yeah, this is. I believe this is sort of reminiscent of Tom Cornell's WTCR livery. This one. So I can't remember the exact team, but I do remember that Tom Cornell did drive a DHL flavoured Audi in the WTCR either last year or the year before. So maybe a reminiscent of that.
Could well be. There's Jakub Jurasik with a bit of time to find. 1:35.3 his representative lap so far, with Stephen behind. There's Aaron Walker, yes, in the almost camo-like Audi. In ninth place, his time 1:33.6. Or one of the many, one of the several, I should say, 33.6s. There are 4 of them currently on the board. As he is chasing, I just missed who that was, but he's right behind. He's backing off those. Might be someone coming up on the lap. No, he's going to have a practice start, is he? Yep, there he goes. Leaves a bit of Pirelli down on the ground. You might need it later, who knows?
Yeah, I'm not so sure how the tyre sets work in this game, but yeah, you can see that he's definitely trying to warm up the tyres at least, or obviously practice starts. Practice starts.
Well, these front-wheel drive cars, do you not just dump them? Do you not just kick them in the first gear?
You can, but again, I found that when I was doing touring car racing, that I would hold it just maybe a half at 500 RPM below max revs, and then when you launch you get just that little bit less wheel spin, but still all the same amount of launch. Obviously the car wants to grip off the line. The more grip you get off the line, the more likely you are to set off at a good pace. The wheel spin obviously for us looks great as they all erupts in a cloud of smoke, but for your actual launch times, as Cameron 5 decides to take a rallycross route.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a few people off into these two sand traps. That's on the exit of Sheens and Sterling's again. Yeah, I buried a number of cars, particularly on the exit of Sheen, because it's so blind. That apex is completely blind when you're coming up over Dingle Dell, and then you're trying to turn into an apex that you just cannot see. You have got to chuck it and hope that it sticks. And yeah, it's very, very tempting to go that little bit too far. As we now head to qualifying for race number 1. For those that are unfamiliar with the series, it's 2 races tonight. We have the qualifying session for race number 1, and then the grid is formed, of course, by those quality results. And for race number 2, it is reverse grid from the race 1 results. So it's complete reverse grid, so all 13 cars will start in reverse order to where they finished in the first time. So fairly straightforward, and it's Stephen Haley straight out there and out on the job. He's not leaving anything to chance this time.
Yeah. The best thing about the circuit as well is that you don't need a slipstream as much as you did at Silverstone. The straights aren't as incredibly long, and don't really set you up much for the next set of corners. It's quite a defensive route you take through Hawthorns and towards the next sequence of corners at Westfield, Dingledell and Sheen. So the straights are vital towards Paddock Hill maybe, so a good start on the outside would probably set you up nicer than being on the inside. Obviously, with it being a downhill curve, you can sort of sweep around a lot nicer. But obviously right now, the whole idea is for Stephen Haley to get back into that mindset of winning and trying to extend his gap back at the top like he had before we went to Silverstone.
Absolutely, just 11 points separates him and Stephen Wilkes. Simon Wilkes, Stephen Wilkes, no, muddling up names again. Simon Wilkes, I should say. So still the championship very, very open. Let's follow our championship leader through his lap then. Over the line and far over to the left-hand side to open it up for Paddock Hill Bend. Banked to the inside, but then it becomes a bit of a reverse camber as you come down the hill, enough to leave your lunch behind, and then straight back uphill towards Paddock Hill Bend, down through the gears, heavy on the brakes, and just ride that apex as long as you dare, and stamp on the gas, downhill towards Graham Hill Bend. Kiss the apex and then run it as much as you dare onto the AstroTurf. Keep the car nice and steady. Could have been a tiny twitch there, but still going. Cooper straight, now into Surtees, this seemingly never-ending long left-hander. I always struggle to get Surtees right, whether you cut it early into the apex or you take a steady line, as we just saw Stephen Haley get there, but he didn't quite get to the apex at all there, really, so there'll be time to find it, I would imagine, on this one. Through Pilgrim's Drop, now into Hawthorne Bend. Almost flat out. You do come down maybe a gear, you don't lose much. I wonder if he's backed out of this, because there was a bit of a wiggle there as we come through Westfield, now down through Dingledale. I get the feeling
I think he has backed off a little here. You can see that his lap time yellow in the third sector, so I think he may have backed off a slight bit. Matthias Niger is doing pretty well there. He's got purple sectors all the way from sector 2 onwards, so it looks like he is going to go provisional pole. Stephen Haley obviously going purple, but that's because he's the first through all these sectors. Saying that, Matthias has gone yellow in sector 3, so that's not going to be great for his time. So it might be Aaron Walker that takes a provisional pole for now, but it'll be interesting to see.
A 34.2 for Stephen Haley is nothing he'll hang on. Is nothing he won't improve on. A 133.897 for Aaron Walker, not bad. Affenden, a 35.8 for him. 35.849. What does the broccoli Britson do? It's 134.373. So there'll be time at that defined. There's the second of the broccoli cars. Steve Proudley is on the board. What did he get? A 135.0 for him. It is 135.066. Dan Williams, what do you get on the board? Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a time for Matthias Niger. He must have binned it towards the end then, because he was looking pretty strong. Yeah, a 34.344 for Dan Williams. The half is back, says Dave Hedges. Tim Fulbrook is on. Oh, do I see a late joiner there? I do. Daniel Handover. I commentated with him only over the weekend. So excellent stuff. Glad to see Dan joining the series. I'll look forward to this. Wow, talk about leaving it to the last minute to join in. I very much look forward to seeing how Daniel will do. Simon Wilkes now at the top of the board, 133.719. Not bad at all. Here comes another run for Stephen Haley, looking a bit more favourable for him. Greens across the board, so an improvement here. What does he now set? No improvement. Oh, okay. Not too bad. And there is Matthias Niger, a 32.7. Wow, a full second. Quick.
Interesting. I think he could improve by at least another couple tenths. He had a yellow sector in sector 3, so I think he has got a little bit more time to gain there over the rest of the field. Obviously, I think a lot of these guys haven't had a clean run yet. You can see, a lot of yellow sectors there. So there's going to be more time to gain, and I think it'll take a little bit longer. Steve Proudley definitely throwing it into turn 1 there in the Civic. So it's interesting to note that these guys aren't going as fast as practice, but again, the conditions could be slightly different, and the wear on the tyres, maybe they're just worried about putting too much wear into the tyres too early in the session. Maybe trying to leave their pole times for as late as possible. Tim Fulbrook on a good lap.
Yeah, Fulbrook indeed on a good lap. I would imagine they're just kind of keeping the cards a bit closer to the chest until the close end of the session. Simon Wilkes improves with a 33.511. Does Tim improve? Of course he does. A 33.2 for the Tim and Blazon Audi. And there is Stephen Haley on a bit of a mixed lap, so started well, but had a bit of a mixture, as you can see from the coloured panels under his name at the bottom. So will he see an improvement? Crosses the line. Wait for it. 1:33.611 for the championship leader. And not an well, that would have been an improvement for... Oh, no, beg your pardon. That's about half a second down for Matas Niger. So that's stunning. 32.7. I don't think we saw any 32s in practice. So that's a cracking time. Michael Haffenden with third place at 33.4 on the board. 33.442. There is Mr. Proudly again. Does he hit a time on the board? Yes, but he'd already done better than that. Cameron Fife coming over the line, chasing Jakub Jurisic. That's a time for Cameron, a 34.5 for him. So puts his name on the board along with Dave Jr. A 33.79. Wow, almost to the thousands, 2000s indeed behind Aaron Walker. Very, very close indeed. There's Tim Fulbrook again. I mean, you don't often find someone half a second quicker than Tim Fulbrook, let's be honest, but there's greens for Tim, as you can see on the panel below. Head over the line. What is it this time? It's a 33.012, so an improvement, but the top spot still belonging to this man, Matas Niger. And you can see still getting purples on the microsectors, so there's still time out there to find.
Absolutely. Again, the track's just going to evolve over time. He's going to run wide and probably abandon this lap here. Yeah, he's going to have to take another lap to get himself set up again. The last place you want to go off is Clearways, because as soon as you go off at Clearways, it pretty much ruins the following lap. So he's going to have to shake that one off, get the car back round for another lap, and then have another attack at it. But yeah, it seems to be that Matas got just a very good lap at the start and hooked it up quite nicely. I think the few of the drivers are potentially just pushing too hard. I think, the ideal lap isn't a case of pushing beyond your limits. It's, just zoning out. Again, obviously, a lot of professionals, you watch and you understand, they just sort of zone out. They don't really focus, per se. They just sort of zone out and become almost like a robot. And it's lap after lap, drilling them out. And then slowly but surely picking up the pace. You can see a few more people improving there. Dave Jr. up to... Well, improving, I think he's moved up to 5th there.
You did. Yep, 33.4 for Dave Jr. 4.54 specifically. Puts him back up into 5th position. That's the front of Stephen Haley's car. So you can see he's still finding time. So again, he's still getting green sectors on the board for the championship leader. He doesn't have so much of a comfortable championship lead. He can't just rely on, just coming home in a position he needs to. He really has got to push to maintain his position at the top. Yet to see Daniel Handover come into the session, so not sure if he might just opt to start from the back. But look forward to seeing what he can do. And that's a 33.175 for Stephen Haney. So we're seeing constant improvements, and we probably will continue to do so as the track conditions get better. Sun is ablazing, so the track will get a bit warmer. And we'll see what we can do as we approach halfway in the session.
Absolutely. We can see that they're slowly but surely getting a bit quicker. Some of the times will look yellow. Obviously, that could be fractions, like we mentioned back at Silverstone. Literally, if you were 0.001 of a second slower, it'll still show up as yellow. So yellow sectors can be a little bit deceptive. As you see, Steve Proudly there only had 2 green sectors, but still improves to go 8th there. Originally 9th.
1:33.944 for Smash It Proudly. And that's Dave Jr. over the line. 33.451. So slight improvement there. There's Tim Fulbrook still pressing on. So that's exactly as you say, Adam. I was just about to say not a great start to the lap and not a great first up, but that could have been 1,000th off on 3 of those 6 sectors. But is that an improvement? No,
it wasn't. It was half a second, yeah. Again, obviously, it can be deceptive. I think a lot of these guys are going to be sort of finding their limits now and getting a bit frustrated every time they go off. I think the key here is to not get frustrated as Stephen Allen's off again. I'm just looking at the Apex thing and it's saying he's off track, so this lap will be invalid for him. But again, it's a case of trying to keep yourself calm Sim racing, you're in a chat with all the other drivers. It's not like real life racing where you've only got one person in your ear and that's your spotter, coach, whatever you want to call it. It's a lot more of a mind game as such, because you can still talk to everybody else and you might be having a laugh.
Cameron's determined to be out there, isn't he?
He is determined to make that the official racing line. I can guarantee we'll have a petition in the morning, make this the racing line. It would definitely make Toka more interesting.
Yeah, he's trying to make that the CFM gravel trap or something like that.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's trying to write his name in the gravel. Either way, there's a couple of times we've seen Cameron Fife out there, and I'm sure he'll love the fact that we've caught him on a couple of occasions on being out there. There is Simon Wilkes as a championship challenger at the moment, just 11 points behind the mighty Stephen Haley, as Tim Fulbrook is back into the pits. Is this an improvement for Simon Wilkes? Not judging by the panels under his name. No, that's quite some. I know
it was.
It was. Yeah, see, there you go. We both got caught out there.
Didn't look like it would be, but interesting. He's now on the same row as the championship leader, his protagonist almost. Well, our protagonist, sorry, Stephen Haley, just next to Simon Wilkes. So this could be interesting going down to T1 if those two are together.
Yeah, absolutely. 33.7 for Stephen Haley that time around. No improvement there. As Fulbrook's in the pits, Daniel Handover is yet to leave the pits, but I suspect he might opt to start from the tail end of the field, as we haven't seen him do any practice for this session, so he may decide to kind of stay out of everybody's way. We'll look forward to seeing his progress nonetheless. There is Steve Proudley. What can he get on the board? That's a fistful of yellows, so no matter how you cut it, that one is not going to be an improvement. That was a 30. What were you last time? 33.3, I think, or 33.9. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, 33.9.
Yaki Burisic coming over the line. Does he improve? Not that side. Yes, he does. I was a little impatient there. In time, but not position. 35.97 for Yaki Burisic, or 9.68 in the DHL. That was someone off into the dust. Not sure who that was.
I didn't spot it in time, but Mattis has just set a lap of the gods almost at the start of the session. He still hasn't been caught. You can see that everybody's pushing as hard as they can to catch him, but nobody seems to be able to catch him. That is
Michael Haffenden,
I believe, isn't it?
No, wrong one. That's Haffenden.
Oh, that's Haffenden. We're going to get confused a fair bit, I think.
Yeah. That's Aaron Walker. Just bouncing over the apex at Paddock Hill Bend. Back towards Druids. Nice and steady. But you're seeing a lot of yellows on the board then, so people are now really struggling to find improvement. Yeah, that just really puts into perspective Mattis Niger and his. Not even he's gotten close to that time again. I managed to get a race win here in touring cars, not in iRacing, I would add. And Toby Owen can attest to this because he was in the race, and he helped me get pole inadvertently. Because I caught him about here. And he was just about to start a run, and I was just coming to the end of it, and I just got that tiny bit of slipstream to take pole by 0.08 of a second.
I do remember here. I think this was the only track I got a win as well in the VTCC during product. Yeah, in the wet during the Project Cars 2 era. That was a interesting race to say the least. But obviously this is a track that really does favour the touring cars. It's such a great spectacle. There's a reason why they use this track twice a year on both layouts in the Toka package. So
I've just seen Andrew Fife's comment there. Cam is a professional groundsman in his private life. Some habits die hard, and it would seem he's finding it difficult to put the job away. But either way, he's done an 11. He's still got a bit of time, just over 4 minutes to go. Still plenty of time to get some laps in as we continue to see our pole sitter. And again, you can see just all yellows on the board. So however he did that first lap, he can't find that rhythm again. And that's what I find Brands Hatch is mainly about. It's about rhythm.
It is.
As raw pace, yes, but there's a flow you really have got to get to really maximise your time here on Brands.
You're absolutely right. You know.
Oh, Haffenden, that was close.
Oh, that was a little bit. Yeah, playing with the gravel there is not a fun idea. No, it is all about rhythm. Again, I think that's with a lot of circuits in the UK though, because they're not wide and flowing in the same way that you might find. Barcelona's a good example. It's quite a wide and flowing circuit. You don't have the luxury of making a mistake and having a big tarmac runoff or a big wide circuit to correct that. If you do go wide, it's grass or gravel to meet you. And that's why I quite enjoyed the spectacle of UK racing, because the level you've got to be at to make sure that your rhythm is consistent, your line is pretty much on the dot. Because if it isn't, if it's off by maybe an inch or two, and you're racing somebody else, that's either a crash or you're off wide into the gravel.
Either way, you're in for a bad day.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Matters Niger again, still in the SSRi colours in the Audi. So Audis certainly are towards the sharper end of tonight's grid. Hyundais have had, I would say, generally speaking, they've had the more top end, the more command of the top end of the grid. But tonight does seem to belong to the Audis, as Matters gets a 33.8 on the board that time around. There's Tim Fulbrook. You can see even he is struggling to find any more pace than he's already put down. Just over 2 minutes to go before the session ends. As Daniel Andover has now come out. Let's jump to him if we can. Tom van der Meer on the cameras once again.
Oh, he's in the. There we go. He is in the.
That's quite an interesting livery. I wonder what he's doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the base. I think that is the base livery, but I quite like it.
I like it. That's what I was going to say. Tim!
Oh, Tim!
Wow.
Hold it. There we go. Fair play.
Well done. But a 32.820 on the board secures his second position, but he's still behind. Matthias Niger again showing what he is really capable of. As that's
he's come out and he's come. I think he's making sure everybody gets through for their laps first before he goes out for his. But is this possibly him going to go straight to the top then?
Well, who knows?
We'll wait and see. But you can see, Tim put everything into that lap. It's probably why he went off. That was an all or nothing lap for him. And to be, he's still within a 10th. That's good. But we've seen before the Audis have great one lap pace, but can they then consecutively do that for the full length of the race? And last time it was no. The Broccoli boys were chasing and the Hyundais were chasing for most of the race. And the Audi has a great one lap pace and it looks great. It's one of my favorite TCR cars. But over the course of the race, it just doesn't seem to have the pace to keep up with the Hyundai.
Oh, I'm sorry, I love
it's striking.
It's good. I like that.
It is very striking.
So as Danny Handover, he's going to come over the line. He won't have time to complete a lap, but at least he has come out to make sure his equipment is working properly. So we'll see how well he can do from the tail end of the field. Steve Allen struggled a bit, as did Jackie Gurisic. They're some way off the pace. Cameron Fife has got to, get rid of the urge to go off into the dust and build sandcastles as the session is ticking down. Checker flag now coming out on the qualifying session. Q1 is done, and there it is. So, front row, it's Matthias Niger from Tim Fulbrook. I think that's Matthias's first pole of the season by less than a 10th of a second. Nicely done. Stephen Haley and Simon Wilkes on row 2. Michael Haffenden and Dave Jr. row 3. A good run from Dave Jr. as well. Daniel Williams and Aaron Walker row 4. Steve Proudley and Martin Bridson. Bit of a struggle for him. We're used to seeing Martin a little bit further up the field than that, but he starts on row 5. Cameron Fife and Jakub Jurisic on row 6 with Steve Allen and Daniel Handover at the tail end of the field. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. It's a broken record statement from me, and I make no apologies for it.
Absolutely. There's no need.
Absolutely. I mean, it's touring cars at Brands Hatch. What is there not to like?
Exactly. We've seen, time and time again, the British touring cars come here. It's an absolute spectacle. You watch any package racing here, to be fair, is a spectacle. I think both yourself and I have had the pleasure of seeing it in real life. This is no exception. Virtual racing is quite a spectacle to watch as well.
Brands is not a place I've been to. Silverstone I have, but I haven't been to Brands. I haven't been to Brands.
We'll have to go some point then. We'll both
absolutely.
Both go for a day out.
I've been to Snetterton, and I'm going to be back there next month. So about 4 weeks' time, so I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, Brands I haven't been to yet. I hope to cross that off my list very, very soon. But let's concentrate on tonight. Let's see who are we waiting for? Michael Haffenden and Stephen Allen. We are waiting to grid up now. So you get them.
There's one.
There's one. And to Stephen Allen now, who, as I say, may well be suffering some kind of technical problem because he was quite some distance off the pace.
Hopefully we will see him before time runs out. I'm not sure how long the intermittent time is, but
2 minutes, I think?
Absolutely. I think it must be, because there we go.
Right, race number 1 for tonight here at Brands Hatch, the penultimate round of the series. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Well, that was a short hold, and it's a bit of a steady start from the front row. Matters does manage to stay ahead of Fulbrook. Wow, look at that, already a gap forming between Stephen Haley and Michael Haffenden. Down through the hill now up towards Druids, and Tim Fulbrook feeling the need to defend straight away from Stephen Haley. Coming into Druids for the first time in anger, and Stephen Allen did indeed not start. So he's already listed as being out. Bit of a shame, but hopefully he'll be able to rejoin for race number 2. Looks like everybody has survived so far.
Absolutely, looked like a little bit of a breakaway from the front 3 there, with Mike Haffenden being lucky to grab onto the tail there. Steve Haley seemed to, Sam Wilkes, seemed to be left for dead there off the line. Mike Haffenden obviously going past him straight away and now down to 5th. So not what Simon Wilkes needs when he's trying to challenge for the title. And Daniel Handover doing well at the back.
Yeah, Daniel Handover already up to 11th as Dave Jr. is under pressure on the outside line.
He might get 2 here. He might get 2. He's done it. He's done 4 cars. He's done 4 cars so far. Very good job there from Handover.
Yeah, very nicely done. Britson's had a bad start. He's down to position, same as Dave Jr. is. So they've not had a good run. Oh, that's Eurosig at the back of the field. It's Cameron Fife is, he's nailed to the back of Bridson, but it's not been a great start for them. Look at that, that's Haffenden and Haney side by side, coming through Clark Curve, now up to complete the lap, and Fulbrook is nailed to the back of Niger. Simon Wilkes is there ready to do battle as Fulbrook has a look at the inside line coming into Patago. Both cars sideways, and still Matters Niger manages to fend off Tim Fulbrook. My goodness me, just about hanging on to that position, but wow, Michael Haffenden really sticking it to Simon Haley. Very nicely done indeed. Handover's now up to 9th. He's still making his way through the field. He's got a bit of a distance.
Oh, someone that was I couldn't tell who that was. Was it Junior?
Oh, was it Handover? Was that Handover?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't know who it was, but he went very wide. It was Handover.
It was Handover, yes.
There you go. Yeah, he goes wide, finds the gravel trap, which is a very rare job.
Dave Jr. also wandered off the road. So we were kind of right on all fronts there. But Handover's now got Martin Britson right in front of him. Well, Britson he's now starting to find his pace again. So they're leaving the training pair behind. Now it's Dan Williams with Aaron Walker for coming right behind. Oh, again, we see Simon Wilkes and Michael Haffenden now having an argument as Stephen Haley has gotten a bit of breathing space from his pursuers. We'll see how that's going to continue, but my goodness me, Brands Hatch is giving us all the entertainment again.
Absolutely. You can see that there's a little bit of a gap now at the front. You can see, I think, these drivers are trying to get themselves a little bit of distance, and Brands Hatch tends to do this, tends to, spread out a little bit, and then towards the end, they'll little bunch up again. You can see there's already a little train starting to form, and that pack will eventually become a battle group. As you can see that Handover's going to round the outside into Paddock Hill. If he should be able to pull that off if he can get the exit right. He does, and yeah, there you go. He's now got his nose.
Wow! All the way around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. Not done yet because he's going to have a long way to go around Druids, and Britson's going to reclaim that spot. But Strafe, Daniel Handover from not taking part in qualifying, not taking part in practice session, and he's really showing he's got quite a bit of pace out there in his Hyundai. As we see Cameron 5, again, he's trying to practice the job again. He's trying to wander off the road, but he is keeping Dave Jr. for company. Now back up to towards the sharper end as Niger and I don't know, actually Mattis Niger's has got a bit of breathing space because Tim Fulbrook has fallen into the clutches of Stephen Haley. There's Haffenden and Wilt with Williams, Walker and Proudly at the back of that particular shot. But the battle now is for second position between the Audi and the lead Hyundai as Mattis Niger is continuing where he rather left off. That's the nose cam from Stephen Haley's car. Well, Tim Fulbrook, we know, is a very fierce competitor, very, very fast indeed. Has won twice in this series so far. But, you know, that's not going to be an easy job even for Haley to overcome.
Absolutely not. You can see that Tim is everywhere that Haley needs to be. You know, he knows exactly where Haley wants to be. And he's putting his positioning his car in a perfect manner in which Haley's now got to fight his way around. And Steve Proudly goes down the inside there of Aaron Walker. Very nice job. And then again, getting it done before getting downhill.
Oh, Aaron Walker, you were close to the wall.
Oh, that's a bit sideways.
That's still going wrong for the camo flavoured Audi, but he has managed to keep it pointing in the right direction. And there at the background, Handover's got ahead of Britson, and that in itself is no easy feat. But Martin Britson does seem to be a little bit off the pace here in Brands for some reason. Maybe this track doesn't suit so well for him, but we'll see what he's able to do. He's still nailed to the back of Daniel Handover as we continue along our merry way. So the top three now are beginning to re-bunch together. You can see on the tower, if the number is in yellow, it means it's under a second. If it's in orange, it's under half a second is the gap between the two cars. And then you've got a gap between Haley and Haffenden's, but Haffenden's got quite a bit of company there from Wilkes and Williams. So there's plenty of battles in the making potentially, but the top three are starting to spread out again. But you know full well that if Fulbrook begins to push, Haley is going to follow suit. So Niger's not out of the woods just yet, as we're now riding on board with Simon Wilkes chasing off after Michael Haffenden.
Absolutely. Well, Wilkes knows that he needs to get past Haffenden right now. He wants to get past. He wants to be chasing his championship rival, Stephen Haley, who is off up the road at the moment. He's now about 2 seconds up the road. So Wilkes knows that he needs to get past and then chase after his championship rival. Haffenden just wants to be there in case Haley decides to drop off and get that first podium.
And just to show that it wasn't a fluke that Mattis Niger did his 32, he just did a 32.9 as his previous lap. Now, fastest lap has gone to Fulbrook with a 32.8, but of course Haley is keeping him company there. There you go. You see Haffenden, Wilkes, Williams in that shot as well. But he has to use it quite a way down to, I think it was down to Britson. You just saw in that camera shot as Handover is looking like he's gaining on Aaron Walker as well. Jakub Jurasik has been through the pits, unfortunately, but he's back out on track. He's determined to at least see the checker flag in every round he's been in, which is good to see. Oh, Wilkes is off! Simon Wilkes has gone for Wonder. He manages to keep it out of the wall, though.
It looks like a little bit of tyre scrub as well, so tyres aren't doing too well from there. I mean, picking up grass on them is definitely not what you want on a set of slicks. But then Stephen Haley then just kicks the tail out a little bit going through Dingledale there. But you can see that these the Hyundai isn't the easiest car to control, but on paper, I think across a race, seems to be the faster car.
It does seem to be, but it's Audi 1-2 at the moment, and Tim Fulbrook is slowly gaining on Mattis Niger. What's the lap times this time around? Let's have a look. 33.4, 33.0 between the two. So Fulbrook is closing in on Mattis Niger. You see that gap has clearly shrunk. Oh my goodness me, the fastest lap has just changed to none other than Daniel Handover at 32.7. And bearing in mind, that's close to Mattis Niger's pole time.
I think that was the pole time. So wow. Daniel Handover has finally thrown the gravel bags out. Probably give it a 5 so you can go do some groundswork in whatever. We'll explore next, but there you go. And then saying that, then Handover decides to do some groundwork. He's going to He's going to lose the position, I think. You can't really hold that there. Wow, he does, just about.
He's not sold on that statement. I mean, it's difficult.
He's not sold on it.
Yeah, it's hard to hold it around the outside of Surtees, but he does manage to do so. And Fulbrook is now very much on attack to Matas Niger. So the leader has had, he's had his moment to enjoy some breathing space, but that is long since gone. That's the back camera from Matas Niger. Thank you, Tom, for that one. And that's never a comfortable sight when you've got Tim Fulbrook's car staring down at you through your rearview mirror. That's enough to put anybody off, as we're already not far off halfway in this race. And it's look at the battling going on all through the field. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It's what we love in touring cars, it's what we love in this TCR series.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct there, Chris. You know, such a great racing here so far. It's continued on from Silverstone, it's continued on from all the previous rounds. Matas is doing a great job here. He's keeping calm, he's keeping Tim behind. No silly moves, no silly mistakes. Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to keep his eyes focused on the road. Occasionally check his mirror to see if Tim decides to throw one. But for now, his main focus is to keep the car on the road.
Yeah, and Handover's got Walker. So that's he's having an argument with Walker. He's having an argument with Walker further down the field. We'll check in with them in a bit as Fulbrook is continuing to keep Niger company. Let's have a look at... it's true. It's on the way down the hill. So the Audi is going to have the inside line coming into Great Hill there. Yeah. My goodness me. And then Handover hasn't... Think about it on the inside line, but he's bringing Bridson with him all the way down to Sheen. Rock corner. And Bridson! Oh, how did you hold that?
Very, very good.
Yeah, very nicely done. Oh dear, the broccoli boy holding that one. A fair amount of clenching and probably some bad language going on in that car, but that's at least given Daniel Handover some breathing space. And there is Handover still on the back of Aaron Walker, now coming up the hill through Sheen's, heading down towards Sterling's. Just in the distance saw Steve Proudley's car with Haffenden, Wilkes and Williams right ahead of him. That's the front of Daniel Handover's car as Walker goes a little bit deep. Coming out of Sterling's, is that going to give him an opportunity coming into Clark? On the inside line, that's brave because it didn't have a lot of overspeed, but it's Hyundai. It's Hyundai versus Audi as we now come to complete another lap. And Handover's going to have the inside line, is he? But Walker still knows ahead. No, as Daniel Handover gets the inside line coming through Paddock Hill Bend. Whoa, but cuts off the advance of Aaron Walker. He had to because Aaron had a decent run on the downhill part from Paddock Hill Bend. And that's now 8th for Daniel Handover.
Absolutely, he's gained 6 positions since the start, obviously with the inclusion of Stephen Allen leaving the session early. But you can see that he's definitely not to be underestimated. He'll be quite close to the front for the next race as well. In fact, about mid-pack at the moment. So he'll be mid-pack for the start of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how well he finishes round race 2. But at the moment, Matas is doing a great job holding back Tim.
Well, you saw Fulbrook there just bow out of the advance he was making coming through Hawthorne Bend. He didn't fancy going side by side through Hawthorne's is adventurous, I think it's fair to say, as we now come through Sheen, heading down towards Sterling's. Haley a little bit further back, about 1.5 seconds. Stephen Haley's not going to be getting any slipstream from that far back. But the more that the top 2 fight, that's going to bring Haley back in, and Fulbrook again showing his nose coming down towards Clark, but no advancement made there. Matas Niger just holding his nerve, keeping Fulbrook at bay. Well, that's a very uncomfortable position to be in because we know how fierce Fulbrook can be. Then right behind you've got Haffenden and Wilkes having their own argument for 4th position as there they are. This is Daniel Williams just at the back of the shot there. They're going to come through and down from Paddock Hill Bend. No particular change there, but Fulbrook is staying nailed to the back of Matas Niger for the lead.
Absolutely. Well, interestingly to note is that the last laps, Stephen Haley was actually at least a 10th off Matas and 2/10 off of Tim. So actually they are pulling away from Stephen Haley. Haley just doesn't seem to have the pace to catch the Audis at the moment. So maybe this is quite favourable to the Audis. But I think Daniel Handover is doing quite a good job to say otherwise there. Look at 8th now. But you can see at least seem to have their own pace and they're setting their own little group in front. Interesting to note where Jakob is. Oh no, he's pulled back into the pit lane.
Yeah, Jakob is.
we can see there that Simon Wilkes wants past Mike Cappenden as quickly as possible. In fact, he's going to get it done at Hawthorns. Was that Hawthorns? No, it's not Hawthorns.
No,
sorry,
that's Westfield. That's Westfield Ben now coming down through Dingledale, still side by side coming up towards Sheens. Neither of them giving up. Yeah, I could see that coming, unfortunately. I think Simon probably knew that one was coming as well. Does he manage to get back in front of Williams just about? That's given Michael Havenden a lot of breathing space. Now Proudly's involved in this particular fight. You just saw Handover's car there. So with 6 minutes left, Daniel Handover could well get involved in this battle as he's left Aaron Walker behind by 2.5 seconds. Absolutely storming performance from the number 14, from the newcomer. Side by side, that's Williams and Proudly having an argument for 6th position. The Broccoli man is fending off the Honda. No, he's not, because Steve Proudly has an awesome run from Paddock Hill Bend, storms through. Can he slow it down coming into Druids? No, he's gone too deep as Williams now cuts back underneath him. Oh, as Proudly does some... Yeah, and there is Daniel Handover ready to get involved.
Yeah, I was just looking at the timing screens again. You can see the last lap, in fact, he was fast. He was the fastest of the field last lap. He seems to be setting the fastest laps through each lap at the moment. So it looks like he is on track to potentially, if there was enough time in this race, he probably would be able to take the lead. But no, he's definitely seems to have the best car on the field at the moment. So whether staying out qualifying was a strategic call just to see how the field would react, it seems to have paid off, because he's now right on the back of 7th and 6th. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that was probably by choice that Handover didn't take part in qualifying, simply because he was so late to the session. So he opted just to stay in the pit lane. As we now see, there you go, that is 4th to 8th in that camera shot there. As wow, Handover nearly pushing Steve Proudly through Sterling's. And wow, that's how close he is. The camera's embedded in the tail of Steve Proudly there. And has a look at the outside of Clark. Surely not. Daniel Handover.
He's done it. I think he's got the speed. He's done it.
Take a wow. I never thought I'd see the day.
That is an overtaking masterclass there from Daniel Handover, just showing how useful that Hyundai is on the brakes. I mean, we watched Steve Haley use the brakes, and we've watched a few of the Hyundais use the brakes to get past the other cars, and it seems to be that the Hyundai is just a little bit better on the brakes. But the next car on the road is another Hyundai, and he's not going to have an easier time passing Williams. As Steve seemed to make light work of Steve, and Steve is not a slow driver by any means.
No, certainly not. Says Martin Briscoe's just gone past Aaron Walker down at Graham Hill Bend. I'm still absolutely blown away by Handover's move. I never thought that an outside move at Clark would actually pay off like that, but already Daniel Handover now on the back of Daniel Williams. So the two Dans are now right with one another, and I don't think Mr. Handover is ready to let the Broccoli boy hold him up too long. Already has a look on the inside line coming down.
He's given a push again. He seems to be... This is very touring car-esque of Daniel Handover. He knows what he's doing here. You can see he's just giving him a little bit of a nudge, let him know that you're there, nothing too aggressive, just a passive hello, check the mirrors, and the moment he does have a look in his rearview mirrors, Daniel Handover is just going to be right round him. I think, in fact, he's going to look for the same move that he did to
oh, wow!
No, he's going to switch back. He's going to go on a switch back through, and he's gone through.
My goodness, that was a real sudden switchback and a bit of a nudge there on the way through, but it's not like Dan Williams flew off the road. That was just a very determined move from Daniel Handover, and through into 6th position from starting in 13th place. What a absolutely
great absolute drive. What a drive. And again, this is, I think, another 5 minutes he'd be challenging for the podium. I don't think there's enough time here for him to challenge for the podium, but by all means, he definitely has the pace right now to be challenging these two at the front.
Speaking of, Niger and Fulbrook now 2 seconds clear of Stephen Haley's, and they're now just going to be left to their own devices. Tim having a look on the inside line, heading towards Hawthorn, but not close enough to make that one work. As that's further about that, Proudly and Williams still continuing their argument, but now
that's huge. Oh my god.
That's the end of Proudly's race. Oh no, he's taken there was really nothing that Steve could have done there.
No, the car, you saw a tyre fly off. There was nothing there. He was a passenger. Both of them. Well, it's unfortunate by all means.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just see here they get into each other, they start bumping, and that's naughty from Steve. It looked like he turned in a little bit there. I don't know whether it was just to try and scare him off, but he takes out the wrong car. That is the wrong car.
Yeah, but you'll see.
So he takes out Daniel Williams in this process, but it's Bridgman and
both the
Williams
Broccoli boys are out in the blink of an eye. Both Broccoli boys and also Proudly are out of this race. But not out of this race are the top two. Penultimate lap now. 2 minutes remain here for the race one of Brands Hatch as again on the inside line. Fulbrook has a look coming down towards Graham Hilbert and cannot make it work. His handover is already nailed. Simon Wilkes for fifth. But we'll keep an eye on them as Phil Fulbrook has a look on the inside line coming into Surtees. Can Mattis Niger defend? He's just
I don't think he's going to be able to hold it unless he can. No, there you go. He does get the overspeed there, but he's now got to go down Hawthorns on the inside line. It's not the most ideal line. You can see there Tim Fulbrook's going to take full advantage there, having a more favourable position, but it's very good defence there from this. And in fact, there you go. I just saw Jurisic just in front there.
As Fife Wilkes as Rob Branson. Wilkes is in trouble because he was just overtaken by Daniel Handover only a minute ago. And now suddenly Simon Wilkes is now down into 9th position behind Cameron Fife, who's been off the road, as we know. What happened here? So there's Dave Jr. What's happened to...
That's
Wilkes. Yeah, we've just seen
Wilkes in the wall. What's happened there? I think he's just messed it up. I think he's missed his braking zone. That doesn't look like he's been hit. I'm sure we'll get a replay now. In fact, here you go. He goes wide, and there you go. Yeah, he's going to collect the wall. There's one. That rear wheel's hanging off.
Yeah,
the toe links have been destroyed on the rear wheel. That's his race over.
I was trying to figure out how he ended up facing the wall, but yeah, that's very much. Good night, Vienna. For
oh wait, in fact we've missed the finish.
We've missed the finish. So
we've been land-strolled.
So your winner for race number one. What a run for Mattis Niger. Lights to flag victory there. We get to thank you very much, Tom. We get to see a replay. Your winner for race number one, Mattis Niger. What a lights to flag victory. Take a bow. You very much earned that one. As one of the Broccoli boys actually was coming out.
I think that might be Dan Williams, but. Again, you know, we've been land-strolled a bit there, but
Fulbrook second, Haley third, Haffenden fourth, Daniel Handover first race of the series up into 5th position, gaining 9. Dean to have started 14th because Steve Allen should have started 13th, but Steve Allen didn't start. I mean, either way, still stunning effort. Aaron Walker 6th, Dave Jr. 7th, Cameron 5/8, Simon Wilkes has got to limp that one around again to get home in 9th position. And Bridson...
he's defending, he looks like he's defending a bit there, but Jakob there. So what's happened to Jakob? That's an unusual crash. That's just no steering.
That must be a technical failure or some.
I think that might be there. You can see the front suspension as well damaged. But here comes Simon Wilkes. Give him a guard of honour as he comes by.
Yeah, you got to admire the man for determination. He's
there we go.
Chuck it into the wall to finish off with. Wow.
You know, he's done a great job there to get it back. But it's very unusual, very unlike Simon to, have a crash like that, especially down the straight between Paddock Hill and Druids there.
So Mattis Niger from Tim Fulbrook and from Stephen Haley, your top 3 from race number 1. Haffenden, Handover, Walker, Junior, Fife, Wilkes, Bridson, Williams, Proudly, Jurisic, Allen is how the race 1 classification has gone. So reverse that and you have your grid for race number 2. Stephen Allen and Jakob Jurisic on row 1. Steve Proudly and Dan Williams, row 2. Martin Bridson and Simon Wilkes, row 3. Cameron Fife and Dave Jr., row 4. Aaron Walker and Daniel Handover, row 5. Michael Haverden, Stephen Haley on row 6th with Tim Fulbrook and Mattis Niger at the tail end of the field. Oh, wow.
What a race 1.
Yeah.
Like I said at the start, you have that little bit of a gap in the middle, and then straight at the end you have a lot more. But we're missing a car.
We're missing a couple of cars. Daniel Handover hasn't reappeared. Oh, no, Steve Proudly and Steve Allen haven't appeared. Neither's Daniel Handover. But away we go. Lights out. Oh, and it is race away as Jakob Juris. Oh, whoa, is that someone already off the field? There's a Juris.
Handover's in the pit lane.
Handover is indeed in the pit lane. Again, he may have opted to do that on purpose. I mean, if so, then fair play to him because he didn't take part in qualifying. He legitimately would have started where he would have done, but either way.
Yeah, I think it's to do with the championship. You know, a lot of drivers when they come into a championship, you know, they don't want to be too impeding. But you know, he had absolute right to be on that grid, and I hope for the next race that he does. You know, the final round, he does take part on the grid.
Absolutely so, as we see Stephen Haley having an argument with several people. That was Mattis Niger, there's Dave Jr. on the outside line. There's, I think it was Dave Jr. just ahead.
That's 3 wide going out to Hawthorns.
Oh, that's going to be uncomfortable.
Oh, there's one off.
Oh, that's Jakob Juris too.
Oh, no. That's Tim Fulbrook.
That's Tim Fulbrook.
That's his front car. That's the front car done. That's his car broken as well.
Yeah.
Toe links on both cars gone.
Oh no, Tim Fulbrook.
No.
From
we knew it was going to happen.
Second, it was always possible. So that's Tim Fulbrook's recovered his car straight back. Oh no, disaster! But exactly, let's see it again. And there's Jakob Juris, and just as he returns to the track, just gets a moment of oversteer and nowhere to go, straight into the side of Tim. Oh my goodness me! But very unfortunate. But Martin Bridson. So it's Martin Bridson leading the way. Dan Williams and the Broccoli pair are 1-2 again. They've done this before. But Dan Williams, he's got a whole heap of company. Simon Wilkes right behind. Then Michael Haffenden in the now the solo sport of the Tim-esque livery. As there's Cameron 5 wandering very wide. Coming through Paddock Hill Bend. That's going to give several people the position there. Oh, that is so close. But where is Cameron going to reappear? I think he's reappearing in 8th position, just about.
And over's out.
Oh no, Daniel Handover is indeed out of the race. That's a shame that we didn't see him. Maybe he had a problem coming through into the second race. But alas, we won't get to see how he could have done this time around. So, Bridson, Williams and Wilkes, your top 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brands Hatch cooking up a storm again within the first lap. I think little bit silly from Eurosic to keep pinned on the grass there. You know, it was never going to end in the way that anybody would have wanted it to. But it's unfortunate for Tim Fulbrook. But you know, we see now Martin Bridson has already got a gap of 2 seconds from his teammate Haffenden, back in 4th position again. Simon Wilkes would definitely be wanting to get a better race 2 than he had race 1. But I'm sure that if he just keeps his head down and focus on the race, that he'll get a good result.
Indeed. Aaron Walker's gone for a wander somewhere. Jakob Juris is actually back out on track. He's determined to continue the race. There's Aaron Walker. Did see that he'd wandered off the road somewhere, but Stephen Haley now ahead of him. Mattis Niger, race 1 winner, is behind. There he is with Cameron 5 and Dave Jr. for company. So Mattis not able to proceed through the field as well as Stephen Haley has. Fastest lap of the race to Simon Wilkes. What can we see here? Whoa, that's off. That's Dave Jr. that's gone for a wander at Paddock Hill Bend. That's exactly what I do. I could probably tell you how many grains of sand are in that gravel trap. I've been in it often enough.
I think he was lucky enough not to collect the wall like Simon did. But there you go. Tim's back out as well. So luckily, I think fast repair might be on because that was quite a wrecked car.
Somewhat
going into the pits. I mean, that would be race over in any normal racing situation in real life, at least anyway. But you can see that Simon Wilkes there is now challenging Dan Williams, and this is exactly what he needs to do for his title fight. Obviously, race 1 didn't exactly go well at the end, but you know, he's now got to challenge these two Broccoli boys, knowing full well that Stephen Haley's right behind.
Indeed, as Haffenden, I think he's had a bit of a lag moment there because I've seen he kept appearing and disappearing, but Wilkes is challenging Williams for 2nd place, and all the time Junior 5 have gone. Oh, Tim, you were flirting with the grass there. Wouldn't recommend it on the exit of Sheens, but still carrying on, at least pointing in the right direction for now. Wilkes chasing Williams, Proudly in 5 having an argument. I think Cameron's gone off the road somewhere as Cameron's lost a couple of positions in short order. And there they are. There's the Honda and the Hyundai having an argument. Oh, there we go. So they've been having an argument right on the inside line.
Why? No.
No, it was Proudly just
the position.
Yeah, it's just Steve Proudly mid to the inside line. Yeah, as Stephen Allen has returned his car to the pits. So his race not getting any better as Proudly getting very squiggly. Oh, look at Williams. He's lost the position to Wilkes coming through Druids. And now he's got a whole heap of pressure from Haffenden and Haley behind. But this is a prime opportunity for Simon Wilkes to try and mitigate what happened in race 1. As Fulbrook has obviously just unlapped, gotten past Stephen Allen. So it's 12th now for Tim Fulbrook. But Michael Haffenden, there he goes. He can't keep his eyes just on the podium spot. He's got Stephen Haley all over his tail. Aaron Walker has got Mattis Niger. Right, there you go. You can see them at the top of the shot. They're still arguing for 6th place. Yes, it's a shame that Mattis hasn't been able to get back into the rhythm that saw him win race 1. But either way, still on for a decent midfield position nonetheless.
Absolutely. Again, obviously, it's definitely not easy to start from the back, because you still have on the high of race 1 win. I think you see it in most sports when you come off the back of a win, you're a little bit eager. So I think what Mattis is doing is just to try and keep his head cool and focus on the race at hand. At the end of the day, he may as well pick up some points, and they're valuable for a championship. So it's more of a case of pick up the points for your championship rather than picking them up just for, being brute. Well, as I say that, he's gone past Aaron Walker, but again, it's a case of more attrition than throwing it around and hoping that you get somewhere. You can see that he's got the pace to catch these 4 cars, so now he's just going to put his head down and keep going.
That's so close! Haley on the inside of Haffenden. Oh, goodness me. Bit of elbows out there, but Haley is backed out of that one as Junior and Walker have now swapped round. I think James Junior's been off somewhere, because that's now 4 seconds between himself and Mattis Niger. Let's see this. That's Michael Haffenden's gone for a bit of a wander on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. Stephen Haley shortly is going to breeze through on the inside of Surtees.
Yeah. He goes, takes out all the cones for good measure.
It's not an iRacing race if there hasn't been cone death somewhere.
There is. There's a cone on this car at the moment.
Oh dear. That's now Mattis. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's
double cones. They're on a date, clearly.
Going for a VIP tour of Brands Hatch on the underside of Haffenden's car. There's Proudly with Cameron Fife just behind, Aaron Walker just ahead. So they're having a good old scrap now for 8th position. Mattis Niger's now right with Stephen Haley. So they're now resuming their battle. You might have been right there, Adam. He may have just been keeping his head cool and biding his time, and is now right in the fight for 3rd place. And that's only 1.5 seconds behind Simon Wilkes as well, so they're not completely out of it. Ironically, just as we were saying that Mattis Niger was keeping his head cool, he set the fastest lap of the race. So it's only, 100th behind Stephen Haley, admittedly, but he's not too far away from pushing the right foot as hard as he needs to. And there he is. That's the pack he's in. And that is Williams, Haley and Niger in that order. Haffenden 1.5 seconds behind. Great 3-way scrap here for that is for 3rd at the moment. Simon Wilkes is breaking away from them as he chases off after Martin Brinson.
So you can see now that Mattis has done a good job there to catch up to the back. Stephen Haley now needs to try and get past Daniel Williams. Obviously Dan Williams is not going to exactly just hand over the position, but obviously more importantly this keeps his his championship lead a little bit. It won't close as much. It'll definitely extend it.
Getting a bit squiggly there. Stephen Haley on the exit of Hawthorne, now through Westfield, down through Dingledale, up towards Sheens. Who's going to come out on top here? Everybody keeps it nice and steady. Haley takes a slightly wider line, but they are all attached together by an invisible rope at this stage. So close together. Less than 3/10 separates each car as they scream down towards Clark. There you can see that's Simon Wilkes a couple of seconds ahead of them, but they're not really interested in. Oh, beg your pardon, that's Jakub Jurisic that's out back on track. He's in 11th position, stays very much out of the way. Flash of the lights there from Michael Haffenden, as that's a big move from Haley on the inside line of Williams, but can he hold it? The Here, Broccoli and Blaze, and Dan Williams tries to come back underneath Stephen Haley, gets the inside line for Druids and can't quite get alongside. That is third for Stephen Haley.
Yeah, he's done a very good job there to get round the Broccoli boy there. Obviously, you can see that he's not going to have an easy time. They should be able to keep up a little bit. If not, it'd be a bit of a shame because obviously, you know, Daniel Williams has been doing a good job there to hold back two drivers behind him. Obviously, Stephen Haley and Mattis. And now Mattis is looking for his way through and, you know, to chase Stephen Haley down. He knows that he's quick at the circuit. You know, there's definitely potential for a consecutive at least 2 podiums this weekend, which will be, you know, he'll be absolutely ecstatic with. So it's now just keeping his head down and getting past this next car.
And Dan Williams isn't going to make it easy for him. Haffenden is closing in on them under a second now between Michael Haffenden and Mattis Niger as the Audi is trying to find his way past the Broccoli and Blaze and Hyundai coming through Sheens down towards 31. Sterling once again, and look at Haley. He's not hanging around. He's already got himself a second's gap between himself and Dan Williams, and that is not what Mattis Niger needs. He does not want to lose the tail end of Stephen Haley at all. Now coming through Clark, the Hyundai getting a bit squiggly, the Audi staying a bit more balanced. Can he get the traction he needs on the exit of Clark Curve? Side by side over the line. He's going to have the outside line for Paddock Hill Bend. That doesn't seem to bother Mattis Niger any. And he's going to drop behind the Hyundai. Didn't fancy that one. He now is going to have a look for Druids. Can he get the run he needs? He's going to draw side by side with Williams.
That should be enough.
Oh, yes, nicely done. Yep, well said there, Adam. Very nicely done. And that's going to bring Michael Haffenden into this fight. Mattis Niger timed that one brilliantly well. Nice move as he's now up to 4th.
Absolutely. You know, he saw a little bit of a gap, and Dan Williams was nice enough to give him that little bit of a gap to stick his nose up. And then obviously with Druids being such a slow speed corner, all he had to do was just get round and then put his foot down and close the door again, and it's job done.
Let's have a look at some other overtakes that have gone on. Steve Proudly, I just noted. Oh, that's a very slow Aaron Walker. So,
a little bit of contact there, a little bit of a barge for good measure from Cameron Fife.
Cameron Fife, yeah. So a bit of a nudge there between the two Hyundais, but Steve Proudly now leads that particular train. That's for 8th place. So wonder what happened around there. What I imagine he's done is he's gone too deep at Sterling's, and as he's recovered the car, that's lost him a lot of momentum. There's Jakub Jurisic, is now a lap down because he has been through the pits. So a bit of a shame there. What has happened to the DHL Audi? That's down at...
Does he clip the grass? No, just the back end.
Yeah.
That's an odd incident.
Yeah, we've seen a few cars go for a smoky exit down there at Surtees. And it's carrying on nonetheless. Fast as that. Now Stephen Haley decided to push his foot a little bit. Wow, Mattis Niger almost matched it. A 33.05 for both of them. Very nicely done. So Stephen Haley now really is getting on with it. With Mattis Niger not wanting to lose time. Here comes this three-way fight again between Proudly, Fife and Walker. So this is for 8th place at the moment. They're 8.5 seconds behind Dave Jr. Oh, I thought Proudly was going to wander off the road there, but he just sweeps through. Oh, he has! I commented.
Oh, no. That strikes again for the Honda.
Oh, no. Proudly is, he's pushed it too hard. Instead of smash it, well, we call him Smash It Proudly, not for that reason. He has definitely smashed his car this time. But Steve Proudly out of the race. He's returned his car to the pits. I think he's actually out of the session. So, what a shame for Steve Proudly. A shame, just wandered a little bit too wide. I thought he was going very, very deep down there at Graham Hill Bend, and sadly that has bitten him. Another retirement from the race. But
we've mentioned it time and time again that the grass here is a little bit lethal. So, you know, to keep your foot pinned there, is Cameron Fife almost demonstrates again. You get that rear tire on the grass, and there's just nothing there to keep it down. So it'll just spin on you, and you know we've seen a few incidents where there we go. Aaron Walker almost through there. In fact, he's gonna have a little bit of a switchback here towards Paddock Hill, coming down the main straight now. Yeah, I think he's got a little bit. I think he's got the job done there. Looks like it. Yeah, he has.
Cameron Fife wasn't making it easy for him. But the Hyundai, is he going to try and cut back underneath the Audi? Up towards Druids. Can he do anything here? Unlikely. That's job done then. 8th position to Aaron Walker as Cameron Fife almost pushes the camo Audi through the corner there in the background. That wasn't Jakub Jurisic. As he's a lap down. Well, that might have been Jakub.
That is Jakub. Yeah,
it is Jakub's car. Oh, yes, it is. There it is. But he is a lap down from this particular battle, so not going to be involved in that one. Oh, look at the battle for second. That's starting to, just as I mentioned it, Sam van der Meer, in charge of the cameras, has just jumped to it. Simon Wilkes now has got a whole heap of trouble as he's got Stephen Haley and Matas Niger right in his tail with just under 5 minutes of the race to go. Martin Bridson is checked out. He's 4.2 seconds up the road. He's got nothing immediately to worry about. But Simon Wilkes has a very determined Stephen Haley and Matas Niger for company.
Absolutely. Well, again, you can see that Martin Bridson has just checked out. He's doing his own thing up front, and this is now the battle for second place. Matas would be happy with another podium. Stephen Haley needs wants more championship points to his name. Simon Wilkes wants to reduce the deficit. So there's 3 people here all wanting that second place for various reasons, and you can tell that this is going to be a great fight towards the end of the race.
Indeed. So Wilkes, Haley, Niger, all very, very close together. There was Martin Bridson, just to remind us who the race leader actually is. And then we just saw at the top of the shot there, Michael Haffenden is still there. Oh, Cameron Fife wandered off the road, but we'll have a look we'll check in with him in a bit, as this 3-way fight is very, very close. Now, what is Haley going to be able to do here? What is Wilkes going to be able to do? I think Niger has probably got an advantage just to kind of let these guys ahead of him figure out what they're wanting to do, but he's not going to sit there too long. There's less than 3 minutes remaining now, 3.5 minutes remaining, less than 4 minutes to go. Now looking back from Simon Wilkes, that's what he's got to deal with. Is he able to determine Stephen Haley? When's he going to make his move? It's a when, not an if for him. But Matas Niger, he's lurking there in the Audi. We'll see what he's able to do as Fife and Walker have swapped round for 8th position. They've both been off the road, I noticed on the timing screen. So they're involved in a hell of a fight. What's happened with these two? So that's coming through towards Hawthorns.
A little bit of a nudge, I think. There you go. Just a little bit of a nudge from Aaron Walker there. Nothing too dangerous. And then, it just carries on. So almost disaster at Hawthorns, but very, very wise from Aaron just to pull back a bit and let Cameron.
Oh, Niger's off!
Niger's off in a big way off. Huge crash. Huge.
Matas Niger by half a tyre's width just went onto the dust and out he went. No way was he slowing that down. Had the run on Stephen Haley, just pulled that a little bit too far, and that's decimated car.
Big time game over. Luckily it didn't roll too much, but that could have been a very big disaster if he had, all he had to do was keep it. Again, it's really frustrating with tracks like this where the grass is out to get you almost, so you have to be so careful not to touch it.
Great shame, but that from third is Matas Niger out. Well, technically from third, because I think he had managed to nose ahead, but either way, that is Matas Niger out of the race. He will not be pleased by that one, so that's going to lead Stephen Haley to attack Simon Wilkes. Less than 2 minutes remain as Stephen Fulbrook has actually managed to overtake Jakub Jurisic. Of course, both of them having been in the pits following huge incidents right at the beginning of the race, or on lap 1 indeed. There is the battle for second position, so it's who's going to stand on which step of the podium, as Martin Bridson now is almost 5 seconds ahead of them. Not what they're going to be worried about at the moment. Well, Wilkes is wanting to mitigate as much as he could the bit of a rough result he had from race 1. Williams and Junior are fairly close together. Walker and Fife are very close together. But at the moment, it is Simon Wilkes doing a great job of keeping Stephen Haley behind.
He is, and you can see that they're definitely trying to push each other now to the end. Just under a minute to go. So I think we've got one more lap to go. But no, it is white lap, in fact, white flag. So it will be the last lap this lap. But you can see that Martin Bridson has just done a great job. He checked out and then just carried on going and didn't look back. Tim Fulbrook doing a good job there to get past Jakub Jurisic there, with Aaron Walker now getting past Cameron Fife again, and then you'll probably see it change a couple more times before we get to the end of the race. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Wilkes can hold up Haley towards the end.
Indeed. Aaron Walker flirting with the AstroTurf on the outside line of Graham Hill Bend. There is Haley and Wilkes a little bit further apart than Stephen Haley would have liked. That's Dave Jr. and Dan Williams. So the other of the Broccoli boys does have... he's got some defending to do before the checker flag football. The checker flag is now out. And we're ready for the other Broccoli boy, Martin Bridson. He's going to add another win to his tally. And it's been a considerably easier run for him this time around. So your winner for race number 2 here at Brands Hatch is the number 65 of Martin Bridson. Very nicely done. Matt Sniger's actually rejoined the circuit. There is Simon Wilkes just ahead of Stephen Haley. Flash of the lights. He enjoyed that one. Michael Haffenden is going to come home lonely in the end, 4th place. Dan Williams is just about going to fend off Dave Jr. in 5th position. Aaron Walker and Cameron Fife still fairly close together, but it is advantage Camo Audi for 7th place between the two. Matt Sniger, I think he's out on track. He is actually out on circuit.
He's out on track. I think he's going to finish the race just purely out of merit. I think, there you go. He's going through 30s, I think it was.
Yeah. So yeah, well, why not, I suppose. That's Tim Fulbrook, Jakub Jurisic crossing the line to complete their races. Of course, a lap down. Steve Allen is just done the same thing. So now we've got to wait for Matt Sniger to complete his lap, which will be fairly rapid. Still one of the fastest cars out there over the course of the race, but just a tiny mistake. But, that's all it needs.
Again, there's no point ruining over what ifs. I think, Mattis will be... I think he'd rather go out fighting than just to go out under an incident. He was going out, trying to go for a move that would have seen him up into 3rd, maybe even 2nd if he managed to pull it off. So, he won't be completely disheartened. He'll be gutted that, he ended up crashing, but I think, he coming away from with a win and at least, finishing race 2 will be enough for him for at least this round, but he'll want more next time.
Oh, undoubtedly. So there we go. That is the racing done for the night. We'll see who is ready to come and have a chat to us this time around. It's always good fun to hear from our drivers. But there we go. Confirmation. Martin Bridson taking top honours in race 2. Simon Wilkes 2nd and Stephen Haley rounding out the podium 3 with Haffenden, Williams Jr., Walker, Fife, Niger, Fulbrook, Jurisic, Allen, Proudly and Handover. The rest of the positions here. Sadly, we didn't see Daniel Handover in the second race. We do have our 3rd place finisher from race number 2 ready to come and have a chat to us. Let's chat with our championship leader. It is, of course, Stephen Haley.
Hi there, mate. How's it going?
Oh, well, we had a lot of fun. And yeah, a bit more of a successful run, I think, this time than you had 2 weeks ago, I think it's fair to say. But wow, what a... it didn't look like you quite had the pace in race 1, but you certainly were having good fun in race 2 by the look of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, race 1, they've got a fairly good start, but just trying to keep hold of Tim and Mattis was just absolutely impossible. I managed to keep a decent kind of a 1 second gap for a little while, but then they just almost like they could kind of put the afterburners on, and it just slowly started to slip back a little bit. But 3rd place isn't a bad position. We've got to look after the championship points mainly. Make sure you finish and get the points.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a decent haul of points this time around. So, one hand on the championship, is that something you're thinking of, or again just looking at everything race by race?
I think it's got to be done race by race. You've got to look at, all you've got to do is look at the last race at Silverstone. It was a bit of a disaster, to be fair. The main objective this race was to not take Cameron out and have his granddad on my case, as it were. But just to finish the race and get some, get the solid points finish. The race with Simon was fantastic, and Mattis was slowly catching me in the second race. They proper got a sweat on.
Even the mighty Haley is human. So, I forgot to look where we are for our final race.
It'll be Donnington National.
Oh, I love Donnington Park personally. What are your thoughts towards it?
I like all the British. I like all the British circuits, to be fair. But yeah, Brands Hatch, Donnington, they've got to be up there with the best for touring cars for sure. Yeah, love it. I think hopefully going to enjoy it and not have too many crash tracking incidents with a bit of luck.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in 2 weeks' time for the season finale. Thank you very much, Stephen Haley.
Thanks very much, Chris. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Oh, we have got several willing volunteers coming to have a chat. Let's chat with Race 1 winner. I look forward to having a chat to none other than Mattis Niger.
Hi.
What a Race 1. That was absolutely superb.
Yeah, the race 1 was really good. The start wasn't so bad, and I managed the position all the race. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been this kind of slow march towards the front, isn't it? The season started, with strong midfield showings, and then we've arrived at Brands Hatch, and you just swept the board. I mean, your qualifying pace was astounding, and you were able to repeat that really quite convincingly in race 1. Shame that race 2 didn't quite go your way. You must have been really, really gutted when that incident happened up at Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah, I was a little bit over calculating this corner, and I didn't miss my break point, but catch the grass on the left, and that's it. You can do nothing with this.
But even still, a really, really excellent performance to take forward to Donnington in 2 weeks' time for the finale. Is that a track you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I like Donnington. Really looking forward to.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing how you do. That now we've seen really how well you've improved over the season. The season finale, we very much look forward to, and we wish you the best of luck for. Thank you very much, Mattis Niger.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night, indeed. Let's have a chat with, what might have been for Mr. Fulbrook. Let's grab in the Tim in Blazer Audi of Tim Fulbrook.
Good evening. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Tim. Well, that wasn't what you intended, was it? I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, very fair to say. Just as Stephen Haley said to me, take the rough with the smooth, and I think I'll have to. But it's a shame. I've had to do that. I laughed with you in the previous race about throwing away race 1 results. I got that bit sorted tonight. I managed to score well in race 1, and that was a really fun race with Mattis. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Blow for blow, very equal on pace. Qualifying was just as exciting, and trying to get to that 32.7, which Mattis laid down really early on. But yeah, race 1 went as well as it could have done. Tried to get that pass done, tried to get the win. I had a good run out of Graham Hill Bend on the last lap, and thought, if I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go for it now into Surtees. And fair play to Mattis, defended it really well. There was no bumping and banging. And then there's no point in trying to go around the outside at Hawthorn. So, yeah, really great race with Mattis. And, I left that race feeling really confident. A little bit of a gap over Stephen in terms of the pace as well. So I thought that setting up race 2, this is going to be solid. I just got to stay clean. And unfortunately, got caught up in someone else having a difficult time of things, I would say. But yeah, look, I got to take those kind of results. It's a shame, especially when I missed round 2 and I'm playing catch up. I think if I'd been in every race, I'd maybe just scratch this one off and go again. But I think, unfortunately, that might be the end of my chance to maybe cause an upset and go into the last race of the season with a shot at the title. But yeah, big shame. But another podium, really solid. Car felt great. Everything felt great. Having a good time. And yeah, rough with the smooth.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, the race 1 pace was astonishing. As I was saying to Mattis, it was great to see his improvement through the season. You've always been a front runner, so it's always wonderful to see you up towards the front. But as I say, Mattis was a bit of a surprise up front.
Yeah.
Were you quite confident doing battle with him? It's usually you and Haley, but you had a new sparring partner this week.
Yeah, Mattis is rapid, and I've raced against him in the TCRs now. And we had a previous series in Mazdas. He was quick there, and he is really fast, when things go his way. Unfortunately, I think he'd admit as well that sometimes he just gets caught up in an instant, and that kind of bends his result and maybe doesn't look as good as it could be. But he's a really fast driver, very, very fair in the, sometimes when you get into a bit of a wheel-to-wheel battle with him, he's just a hard, fair racer, Mattis, and it's great to see that improvement. I think at the start of the season he had pace, but maybe couldn't stretch it out across the race or across the two races that make up the round to maybe show where he could be. But yeah, always fun battling with people and always hard, fair racing in Simsport, which is what we love. And yeah, like you say, normally battling with Stephen. Fun again just to go up against Mattis, but I think that kind of weighed into my driving because I didn't want to go for a move against someone who maybe was a bit further down in the championship. Don't think it's too far, but it's just when you're trying to gather up the points, it's not worth that fight at some point. So I was hoping the opportunity presented itself to me, but came right at the end, wasn't able to convert. But yeah, congrats to Mattis, deserves a win. He puts in a lot of time, a lot of effort into getting faster, and it's paying off. So yeah, congrats to him, and as well to Martin in that second race, because he drove really well and picked up another win.
Very gracious of you there, Tim. So we got Donnington to see out the season. Is that a yay or an A for you?
Do you know what? I think it would have been a more of a yay had tonight gone better. I think I mentioned to you before, Brands Hatch is kind of like my home track, so I was coming into this feeling really good about it. But Donnington is one that I'm not quite as good there as I'd like to be. But, it's a touring car racing as we've enjoyed, so you never know what will come your way. I think it'll be about getting some clean races in and just seeing if I can get further up the championship standings. But yeah, looking forward to it. I do think Donnington's a great track and a really good track for these cars as well.
Couldn't agree more. We look forward to it with great anticipation. Thank you very much, Tim Fulbrook.
Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Adam.
And finally, it's the broccoli master himself. It is Martin Britson.
All right, lads.
Wow. I mean, I think it's fair to say you were absolutely untouchable in that race.
I was definitely lucky. Got a pretty clean start, got away from all the carnage, and then just got my head down, really, and just concentrated and got consistency up. I think that was the key, just consistent, not driving off the track like I usually do.
Yeah, race one was a bit more of a struggle for you, but I mean, we just didn't see you at all in race two. You just kind of took off into the distance, and that was you.
Yeah, well, less said about race one, the better, I think. That was just... didn't even get started. I don't think I even turned up for that one.
Oh, dear.
But, yeah, race two, that was all right. Obviously, I had Dan, and he slipped into second off the start, so he did me a bit of a favour just by pacing the pack a little bit and letting me get a little bit of a gap, which I think helped us just sort of ease away.
Will it be the Broccoli Boys at the front in Donnington?
Oh, I'd like to think so, but you never know, I suppose. It's just depends. We'll see what happens. We'll give it our best and see where we end up in the championship as well.
Excellent stuff. We wish you the best of luck for the season finale in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much, Martin Britson.
Cheers, lads.
And that is going to be it for tonight's festivities. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on a superb show yet again for us all to enjoy. It's been a great honour to scream my lungs out to the wonderful drivers here at the TCR series. Thank you very much, Adam Bent, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Joining me in the commentary box. Always a pleasure to have you alongside me, good sir.
Can't wait for the next round. Yeah, Donnington Park is one of my favourite circuits, but for racing, definitely a track, especially the national circuit. Such a great track for overtaking, such a great track for close battles.
Absolutely so. Thank you very much, Tom Vandermeer, for being in charge of the cameras. Literally couldn't do it without you, and a sterling job you always do, sir. As mentioned, it is Donnington Park in 2 weeks' time for the grand finale of this series. Will Stephen Haley manage to hold on and claim the title? You'll have to join us in 2 weeks' time to find out. Until then, thank you very much, and good night.